all the turbulence in the financial world, many people are wondering what to do with their money and wondering if perhaps there's a silver lining or a golden ticket.
All right, so here to shed some golden light on everything is our watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning and happy birthday.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. So for my birthday, should I go out and throw all my money into gold and silver?
Your wife will probably end up taking it, probably want to wear it or something like that. So I don't know. I get that question all the time. You see the commercials all on TV. You buy gold, or stock it your bunker in your backyard with a tuna fish.
Well, but Chris, they're having these gold parties. These women are going around and they're selling all their gold jewelry.
I thought it was Botox parties. I thought that was.
You know what? Botox is so yesterday. It's all about gold today, honey.
But how is this as an investment? You're thinking not such a good strategy.
I actually had a chart. And we don't want to do PowerPoint presentations here because they're kind of boring, but if you watch gold for the past 200 years, you could actually go back to 1800. It is the worst performing asset class out there.
There you go. That's pretty cut and dry right there.
Worst performing asset class out there. So I don't recommend it. It doesn't pay you to own it. You can't eat it. You can't stick it into your car. Looks nice if you want to. It's a good investment in your significant other, probably. But sometimes you want to have a little bit in your portfolio when it gets to really inexpensive levels. You can use it as a trading vehicle, yes. But a long-term investment, absolutely not. If you bought gold back in 1980, you are way down.
Right. Really? Now, are the prices low right now for gold and silver?
It's come down. I mean, I don't even know. Last time I checked this morning, we're getting close to a level below 700 again. Okay. So it just shows you where it's come. It's down for the year, but the most important thing is where it's been 20, 30, 40 years ago, and it's way down from that.
And the thing that you're always telling people is, to have a goal-oriented investment plan in mind, and even with the stock market the way it is, it lost 500 again yesterday, it's still long-term is the way to go. Am I right?
Well, absolutely. If you need your money, if you need to have access to your money, I get this all the time. I said, what should I be buying right now? First question is, when do you need your money? If you need this money for a down payment on a house next year, stay away from stocks. If you need it for a down payment on a house 2 years from now, stay away from stocks. But 5, 10, 20, 30 years down the road, you're going to be okay. But the same thing holds true as well. You also want to get paid to wait. What I mean by that is you want to look for dividends, you want to look for companies that are paying you to own it, and usually those companies are much better than ones that are not.
But I think a lot of people, and I know we talked about this last time, but a lot of people still are not sure. They don't have the confidence. Is it now the time to just leave your stocks alone, or should you cash out? Because a lot of people are saying, I'm not sure how much further it's going to drop. Do I need to cash out now?
Cashing out, it depends. That's, once again, when you need access to your money. If you're in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, you're talking about 401ks, even in your 50s, you've got a long time. Why would you want to cash out for it? Now's the time you want to be adding extra dollars to these accounts.
It's cheap.
Yeah, because you're getting stuff in on the cheap. If you're in a different situation where you're in a retirement, I actually got a lot of questions last week on the little chat box there in regards to annuities. A lot of older people maybe want to be shifting into other vehicles.
The industry has taken some pretty tough hits as of late. Many people are wondering whether their money will be safe for the long term in what's considered a traditional banking institution.
Right, and a lot of people wondering if maybe credit unions are a better option. So we called in our financial expert. Now, he's actually married, but he plays a single man on TV.
Oh.
He's the watchdog on Wall Street.
See,
Chris
that's
Markowski.
what some of our female viewers are picking up on.
See, it's TV. We can fantasize.
I've got baggage too. I've got a 2-year-old, I got a 4-year-old, and I got a 6-year-old. Okay.
I got baggage. I love it.
Ladies, he comes with a complete set of Samsonite.
Yeah, there you go.
So you know.
So what about this? Credit unions? Are these a good option?
Oh, I think, well, it all depends on the credit union where you are. I think it's a fine option. They're insured. A lot of people worried about deposits and whether or not they're being insured because of the recent Economic Stabilization Act that we just passed. All banks are up to $250,000. Yes, from $100,000 to $250,000. It's a different insurance. It's not FDIC for the credit unions. It's a different insurance, but it is also up to $250,000. So you don't have to worry about that. If your credit union goes bust, it could happen. You're going to be okay.
Is that a private insurer? It's not a government. Like the FDIC is government.
It's separate. It's outside. It's still depending whether it's a federal credit union or whatnot. It is outside. It's not the FDIC, but you're okay. You're in the clear up to $250,000. Okay. After that, it's a different story. You got to understand that. That's why people have to, if you're going to various different accounts out there, you want to keep them under that limit. If not, have an account at another bank.
Okay, gotcha. I think a lot of people wonder whether they can actually be eligible to join a credit union. Can anyone join a credit union?
I would say probably in any place you go anywhere in the country, you're going to find a credit union that you're going to be able to go. I mean, where I live, there's several. All you have to do is be a resident of that area, that county, that community, whatever it may be. So it's usually not a problem at all.
Now, what about in terms of getting loans and that kind of things from credit unions? Do they offer better rates and that sort of stuff?
Well, I think sometimes, often it's, especially now, a lot of these credit unions are seeing an opportunity because they can take take advantage of all the problems the banks are having, and because there's membership involved, it's a wonderful life with the Bailey building alone. That's really your old typical kind of a credit union type of a situation. Yeah, you can get better rates often on some of your loans, sometimes not, but you're typically not going to get better rates on your saving rates or your CDs.
Now, just a few seconds left, but I know you rail on these guys on Wall Street and the ones who are greedy and don't have our best interests in mind. Do you feel like the credit union is a little better because it's a collection of a community thing and maybe they're not so profit driven?
Well, they want to make money just as much as everybody else does, but they're not conflicted. The word is conflicted. Those guys on Wall Street, it's like that movie There Will Be Blood. They drink your milkshake over and over and over again. Avoid those guys. You want to work with independent people that have your best interests at heart.
All right.
Listen, Chris Markowski has been in our chat room all morning long. We said, hey man, we got to get you dressed again, get you back on the studio, because people have questions they want to answer, and they're financial questions, right, Chris?
Most of them have been financial questions.
Most of them, yeah.
Some of them have been questions regarding his marital status.
Yeah, Chris will not show up at your house and do your portfolio. I've already found that out.
You've asked.
I was talking to him in the chat room. I was like, hey, why don't you come on over?
We've been hanging out with our financial guru, the Watchdog on Wall Street, also known as Chris Markowski.
That's right, and he is fresh off of the Daily Buzz chat room. Not a good smell in there, is it, the chat room? We got to get some freshener in there.
People are going to think I'm not too bright, as I'm like, okay, I'm not very good at it. I'm trying.
Well, what are a lot of people asking you this morning?
I think probably one of the most frequent questions I got out there is, what should I do with my 401k? I see it's down $6,000. I see it's down $10,000 this past month. One of the first questions I asked is, what's your age? And a lot of them like mid-30s, 40s. Obviously, it's your demo here. And I'm like, what are you doing? You can't touch this money for another 25, 30 years. What are you trying to guess what's going to happen over the next couple of days? No one's able to do that. Warren Buffett last week came out with a big op-ed saying now I'm buying stocks, my personal account.
Yeah.
He's down this week. Does that make him a bad investor? No, he doesn't need that money right now. Please, people, keep your cool when it comes to your 401ks. It's for the long term, it's not for the short term.
Okay. We had a woman who wrote in, under pressure. She's facing foreclosure, and she's getting inundated with all these companies, saying, we've got the answer for you. And she's hearing things like short sales. She's hearing things like foreclosure, bankruptcy. What does somebody in that situation do? Where do they even begin?
Save yourself some money. Buy yourself one of those magic 8 balls. You shake it around. What should I do next? No, you want to avoid that stuff. You already know what you need to do. You need to cut down on your expenses. You need to do everything possible to try to get your debt down. I talk about it all the time. Debt, to me, is the equivalent of slavery. We all like to eat, drink, and be merry and have a good time. When you're enslaved to a bank, when you're enslaved to your debt, you really can't enjoy your life. And your stuff ends up owning you. Right. And if you're in a situation where you've got, you're underwater on your house, you can't be making your mortgage payments, then you're going to obviously need to get a little bit of help and try to come up with some sort of solution. But you're going to need to live somewhere, right?
Sure.
I mean, this whole idea that everybody's going to get up and out of their houses and go somewhere, you're going to have to move. You're going to have to rent somewhere. It's a necessity house. If people treated their homes rather than investments, if they treated them as a bill, like the electric bill, like your car bill, whatever it may be, they'd be much better off.
Yeah, and renting isn't always a bad thing. That's
Absolutely.
the thing. We all got convinced a few years ago in this country that you had to own a home or you were some sort of failure. Sometimes in this particular financial situation you're in, it's okay to rent.
Your home is not a good long-term investment. It's not. You have to pay taxes. You have to pay upkeep. If you were to take that initial down payment, you were just to stick it into an S&P fund over 30 years, you're going to be better off. There's a lot involved with owning a home. It's not always a good investment.
Chris, thank you so much.